jesteś masz.
So you hear us? We've sent to the chat the link to the YouTube video where you will stream.
I saw the YouTube, by the way.
Are we on the YouTube already or not?
Yeah, we are on the YouTube, I think, yeah.
Okay, let's start in that case.
Okay, awesome. Lovely, lovely. Yes, you can see, yeah, we need to wait for the guys to rejoin. So here we go. Working. Yes. Let me try. Hello. A lot better. Yeah, I agree. I mean, when things are turned on, they are better.
Yeah, it's always worked better with that power.
Oh my gosh. Okay, good. Lovely. Thank you so much, Tommy, for the confirmation. Lovely. And by the way, we did not really lose any chat over here because I could see you guys where you were from. So yes, we've got Poland, we had Switzerland, we had Calgary, we had also India, we had Germany, we had Austria. So actually plenty of places that you guys, we had Jerusalem, right?
Yeah.
And so there are plenty of places where
we've been already there.
We've been in so many places. Awesome, but we totally miss you because we are here in the office. And just for the reference, here we keep this distance, right? So here we go.
Yeah, and all well tested.
Yeah, actually, I had a test today. Again, because when you do different things, you have to get tested. So I wonder, how many tests per year can you actually have? Can you have 365 tests or something? Possibly, but that would be pretty horrible, right? Yeah. Anyway, Switzerland, lovely Belgium. Funny to click another link to get there. Wink, wink, exactly, because it is a phishing.
Yeah.
Because it is a phishing webinar. But
did you check if the link was properly formatted? Maybe some typos put in there?
Hey, it's working, so it's working. So it's working. It's correct, isn't it like that?
Yeah, for the phishing is always working.
It's always like that, right?
Yeah, even if it's not correct thing, it's always working.
Now you guys will stop trusting us or something. No worries. Okay, so we are here.
No one will download our tools anymore.
No, hopefully not. So we've got Kosovo, nice, Paris, lovely, Albania, Malta, Turkey, Belgium, with some beer icons. Here we go. Estonia. I wonder if you guys have still winter in Estonia, because every single time of the year I was there, it was actually pretty cold, but it was amazing.
We have still winter in Poland.
Do we know?
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you sit in the office or at home, you don't really know what kind of weather it's out there. All Alberta nice from Canada. So Russia, here we go. So the characters was Unicode. Yeah, hello, and yeah, fantastic. Nice. So anyway, guys, I think we can totally start today. So you were asking how long the webinar is going to be. So it's going to be maximum 1.5 hours. Yeah, Mike,
yeah, we'll
right?
try.
Yes, okay, so right, I'm always saying this, but it's always longer. But anyway, we have to keep it shorter. I mean, 1.5 hours on time, because today there is a Champions League playing.
Oh.
And there are 2 games. So one is the PSG playing with Barcelona, and another one, it's the Liverpool with the RB Leipzig. So technically, if you guys are into football/soccer, depends on which of the
I know lots of the Liverpool fans, so they probably will go there and watch it.
Here we go. So this is also something that we have to comply with, like Champions League, not making it longer. Anyway, so let's move forward. So today we do have 5 effective techniques every red teamer should know, and we talk about phishing. So here we go. Bless you. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, we have to. I mean, it's our duty. Let's move forward. Today we're going to be talking, of course, about phishing. Yes, so a couple of comments, of course, about this one. Whenever we think about phishing, and phishing technically is one of the, or if not the biggest, the highest, or the best mean of transportation for malware to the organizations, especially within the pandemic times. We thought that we cannot really skip this subject. So yeah.
And it's increasing with every day. I think we see constantly the different incidents that it's usually starting with the phishing mails that are delivering something.
That is exactly the case. Anyway, so we've got a little bit of an intro. Like you guys joined, you clicked the link, so you are in already, and I think it'll be great to officially introduce ourselves, if you don't mind. So yeah, some of you might already know me because I'm all the way on these pictures that we share within our team and so on. So we've got also new people joining as well. So I would love to introduce myself at the very beginning, if you don't mind. So I'm the CEO and founder of CQURE, and at the same time, cybersecurity specialist with more than, that's going to sound very old, 15 years of experience, which means I started when I was 1.
Yeah.
Here we go. And
no. If you started when you were 1, you cannot drink a beer right now.
I just mentioned the beer.
Yeah.
I just mentioned it. Like I can mention it, I don't have to drink it. So here we go. Anyway, so I'm here today with the most outstanding cybersecurity specialist I've known and absolutely proud to talk with, and that's Mike Jankowski-Lorek. And Mike is the CQURE Director of Consulting, a talented and experienced cybersecurity specialist, security or solution architect, data scientist, and what more? Wait, I've forgotten to add, you are also a PhD. You could introduce yourself better, I'm sure.
No. I couldn't explain everything there. So yeah, first of all, I can tell you that I'm very happy to be with you here today. And I can't wait to share with you all the insights about the phishing.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Mike. Lovely. So guys, I'd like to know you a little bit better. You already know, we already know where you're from. And it will be great also to see what you do, because we're interested. And I bet you are also interested about your pals. So do you deal with phishing every day? Do you actually work in the infrastructure where you are supposed to, for example, be responsible for security, to design phishing campaigns? So we need to know that, because it'd be great to see that we are not alone in a sense. So here we go. So do we have any architects over here, specialists? So that would be nice to know. Yeah. So we got this lovely. Whenever we think about phishing, I guess it's time to get into the presentation and officially start the webinar. In a second, we'll uncover the 5 effective techniques every red teamer should know. And long story short, whenever we are thinking, of course, about that, what actually does it mean to be a red hat? So what do you guys think? So what does it mean? Like, as you join us here, you probably know who red teamer eventually, or red hat in a sense, is. Mike, do you know?
No, I have no clue. No, just keep across.
Okay.
You are a red teamer, I'm the red teamer. So it really means that we try to put the hacker shoes on and to use the same techniques to attack the infrastructure. It's a little bit more than the penetration testing, because we really try to hide our tracks, and also trying to use really many techniques, not just test the common vulnerabilities, but to treat the users as well. Okay. So when we are thinking, of course, about putting on the hacker shoes, this is always a good perspective to have, and especially when we are designing the
phishing campaign or dealing with phishing, or on the other hand, understanding what phishing is in order to properly secure our infrastructure. So just a couple of words, of course, about that, because whenever we mention the infrastructure, I think it's important to also give you a little bit of a background, because every day at CQURE, we are using pretty much the same methods that hackers do. And when we are trying to bypass security solutions. So we mentioned that technically we deliver pen tests. If you guys know us, then you've been dealing with our webinars, maybe with our tools and so on. We have over 200 tools that we wrote for our pen testing purposes. We are right now especially focusing on incident response and forensics. That is actually the skill set that we have grown quite intensively within our team, because pandemic is there, and we've never had, by the way, so many projects on forensics and incident response like during the pandemic. It is actually quite sad, because like the stories you learn, they are just simply not funny. They are actually horrible. And we are learning that hackers, for example, were sitting at the customer's network from November 2019. Was it the date?
Oh,
Something like that, right? So this was the case that this is actually the case that Mike is working on right now, not to mention the other ones. Yeah. So here we go. But long story short, that kind of attacks. The reason why, by the way, we prepared also this webinar is because that kind of attacks are usually starting by phishing, and the way how phishing technically runs, yeah, like the ways how phishing executes. Okay, so yeah, but what about hackers? So how do you perceive them?
Yeah, so hackers are often as smart as you are. So they are inventing new ways, they are evolving. So we shouldn't be surprised by that. And this is the reason why we are spending a lot of our time on learning. How much time do you spend on research for?
Well, hard to count it precisely, actually, quite a lot. I'm reading a lot of professional stuff, and I follow news from the industry, from blogs, different news pages and so on. And also each of our client cases, I would say it's a great learning for me every single time. And that's why cybersecurity is such an exciting subject, because it's never like repeating itself. In a sense, it's repeating, but every story is different. That's the point, yeah. So it's also always good to connect the dots. And when you put on the hacker's shoes, for example, performing the incident response, that is also something exciting. And at the same time, I hope that you guys gonna also appreciate it, because CQURE Academy and basically what we do is demonstrating that the whole concept. Yes.
Yeah. You know that the theory matters as well. It's not that only the practice is there. So you must learn.
Absolutely, Mike. But I remember that you are a PhD, yes, and also a lecturer, yes. So here we go. But I have some evidence that CQURE Academy method works too. So here we go.
Yeah, it's always important to remember that what we want to present today.
Right, so coming to the point, it's time to adjust everything before we get into the live case scenarios. So just to make sure that you guys have the good learning curve. So it seems that most of you are logged in and you are ready and you are listening. So I just want to remind you that my team members are also here to help you. If you have some problems with connection, just follow these steps. And I'm sure you know this as well, that CQURE Academy account is replying in the chat. So that's the team. So big thank you to those being there and helping us out. These are the ones to help you. So try to refresh the page, and I think it's the easiest way to reconnect in this particular case. But if something happens else, then we're going to be letting you know. Yeah,
Did you try to turn it off and turn it on again? Ultimate answer.
Actually, this is what has been happening with Teams for a whole day with us. So here we go. Ultimate answer. Anyway, so a couple of things. What's the plan for today? Long story short, the plan is that we're going to talk about the topic, which could be a little surprising for you: social engineering and phishing. And the question is, why?
Maybe because we created a course about it?
No, Mike, you actually mixed things up a little bit. We actually created a course because we found out that social engineering and phishing are one of the biggest threats.
Yeah,
Simply.
it's true.
Yeah, so for me, so to say, explaining why, for example, this is an important subject, and why basically whose attack is delivered from the technical side isn't really the case. But while talking about cybersecurity, we are constantly forgetting about the crucial stage of the attack. So have an idea what I'm talking about, or no? That really.
Of course, are you testing now?
Well, sometimes a little bit, but anyway. So now it's me who's kidding a little bit, and actually, don't get us wrong. We know each other very well. So this kind of jokes and being crazy ironic about each other, it's definitely the case. Anyway, there was a reason why I mentioned the CQURE's work method at the beginning, and it's time to explain it. When we are talking about the projects we're working on, many of them, they have like something in common. Yeah? So they were unexpected, they were caused by data breaches or reputation loss, or they were started by some social engineering trick, and that's what we're going to be showing you. So here we go.
Yeah, as you can see on the slide, social engineering is really a cybersecurity threat. And in fact, it is the easiest way to access even the most sophisticated cybersecurity systems, the well-protected ones. This is really the reason we came up with the idea of creating another secure, brand new course called, what a surprise, Social Engineering and Phishing Mastery.
I'll never get that, honestly. How could it be? Anyway, and this webinar is, of course, part of it. Today, we're going to talk about phishing, and we're going to show you 5 live scenarios or 5 live cases, how to deal with it. So I think no time to lose. Let's start. And let me, of course, get into the first interesting case study with an example. We're going to start with something actually quite easy in a sense, because I would definitely say it's easy, because when we deal with different cryptography cases, when you compare years of work against this, that's why I'm saying easy. But from the user perspective, it's not an easy thing. And there's also something that we would like to add on the top of it. And we are actually going, in a sense, with difficulty case by case, ending up with something really nice, because we're going to be playing with the VPN pivoting attack, data protection API extraction from VPNs, and so on. So this is basically the background. Anyway, spoofed link. So what I would love to show you, and that is a quite straightforward situation, because when we are dealing with phishing, why phishing eventually is actually effective. Yes, so why we got that kind of stuff. So here we've got information email, for example. This is all live, by the way. So this is my desktop over here with the environment connected. So you guys can see that someone gets an email. Yes, so this is basically, I think your credentials leaked. Yes, and this phishing email, by the way, just to give you the clue, could be sent through, not necessarily from or by someone who is from the outside of the organization, but it could be someone inside, meaning that if someone's computer is affected because someone else wrote something from phishing and so on, this is how that could technically spread. So it's a kind of like virus concept, right? Especially when we are dealing with, not to really compare because it's not very cool to do it, but eventually, if, for example, you've got a couple of thousands people working in a certain organization, then of course, statistically, someone's going to have a password of company name 2021 or something, right? So for 10,000 people, let it be 3 people, yes? Then this is already enough to send an email like this. And then, for example, you have access to the global catalog. You can see what kind of people are there. You can do it massively. You can do it to your team members, verifying who is out there. So you can imagine the whole background. So it's actually easy to start, unless, of course, there are things like multi-factor authentication, who could technically help out to mitigate internal phishing like this, but phishing can be also external. And over here, this is an example of that. Yeah, so I think your credentials leaked. And then there's a demo, secureacademy.com, and this is basically what we got. Now, long story short, I am here connected to a certain network. I'm going to actually change the interface. It's going to be a little bit more interesting. So this particular stuff that I've got, so if I do click on the link, this one could be HTTPS or HTTP. In this case, I have HTTP, but HTTPS also works. So we can show you both for that demonstration. And long story short, user will see something that user is used to see. Now, this is a typical situation for example, bank websites that they are copied and user enters a website that looks exactly like the logon panel for the bank and
Facebook, PayPal, of course.
Right, Facebook, PayPal, and all that stuff. Okay, anyway, so we've got a user that opens up that link. Yeah, so we've got over here the logo. Yeah, now, funny part about that is that, of course, users are educated to look at the insecure websites. Or in this case, I said it in Polish. It's funny because I see the Polish comment over here.
Yeah. Unsecured in Polish.
Unsecured in Polish. Here we go. So we've got an HTTPS and then demo.cqureacademy.com admin. And then over here, user can enter some kind of credentials. And these credentials eventually will be simply linking. Yeah. Now, funny part about that is that this demo.cqureacademy.com, it's going to be the same website as an original website that we got, which is called demoacademy.com. And that one looks exactly the same, but at this time when the user logs in, let me show you, of course, this example, user has successfully logged in. So just for the reference over here, you can see the padlocks. So from the user perspective, that is good, but are actually users adjusted? Are they trained to verify how these particular URLs look like? And I know that from some of us, it's easy, but for people, it's not. And very often we can see that that's actually not a part of the cybersecurity training. So a little bit of an insight. So Mike, do you want to add something on the top of that?
Yeah, one of the things is that it's even harder to see it, that there is a typo squatting, especially right now when there is no visualization of the extended validation or organization validation certificates in the browsers anymore. So unless you click in the padlock, you will not see information about the organization anymore. Also, it's not changing the color of the URL bar when it's switching to the extended validation certificate. So another thing is that there is a possibility to just simply get all those domains which are very similar, and it's called typo squatting. Let me just share my screen. You should see my browser here, and this is extremely easy to understand web page on which we can just simply put some name. Let's say I will start with something that is well known, adobe.com, and let's see how it's looking for the different domains. So you see, it's trying 195 different similar names for this domain, and it's commonly used to verify which one are still available for us, so we can buy those and just register those domains so we can use it for the attacks. And you can see some of them are quite difficult or maybe a little bit not usable for the attacks. But let's see those which are available right now. So those are, okay, why Adobe? Maybe not. But if we look into the names which has those Unicode characters, in the browsers might be difficult to spot the difference, depending on the settings, of course, of the browser. But for example, a.dobi.com, beautiful one to get.
Actually, not to search far, we do have a pretty good domain, which is Microsoft Online.
Yeah, don't say it because everyone will set the filters for our phishing campaigns anymore. Will not work. Yes, we have a couple for Microsoft as well.
For Microsoft as well, and we were actually quite surprised that they were available.
Yeah,
it was actually pretty surprising. So eventually, sometimes you can have a really good hit for that kind of a domain, and then that phishing campaign running once, it could be pretty successful.
Yeah, as you can see, if the domain is longer, it's much more options that we have here. And your favorite raccoons, for example, you can have them misspelled in many different ways. But this page is very simple, of course, to search for it. There is a Python module which is called DNS twist. And to compare it, the results from the Adobe that I was searching before, let's see how many different permutations it's going to test on the DNS twist. It's 1,368. So it's much more than the website that I was showing you. And this is just to begin with. We can play with the different endings, with the different, not necessarily .com, but it might be some other root domain that we are registering. And it's always to just mimic the domain name that we have normally for the organization. And you can set up the reports or setting the alerts if someone is buying the domains that are similar to yours, and then evaluate if you need to set it up for example, the filters on your Exchange servers or Office 365 and blocking the access for such mails coming from there. And so I think it's quite easy to understand why someone might want to get that kind of links.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this is actually one of the examples. What I would love to show you would be the other example where we're going to be playing with eventually attachments. Yeah. So that was a second case where we were playing with the typo squatting. And whenever we are thinking about the attachments that are in Excel, we're going to actually, or Excel or emails, because I'm thinking about Excel, we're going to actually spend here a while. Because that is really the #1 mean of transportation, because sometimes macro users would know that that's, for example, dangerous, but sometimes it might be really tricky how that particular macro could work. And we're going to start with the straightforward one. Therefore, we're going to go as well to the little bit more advanced one, and we're going to discuss the protection technique against that kind of things, because it's also important how, for example, to protect from process hollowing and that kind of stuff, which is and a technology that AppLocker won't technically prevent.
Yeah,
So,
Windows Defender application control even will not prevent from.
because you're running things in Excel. So this is because it's not because it's a bad solution or anything like this. We don't want to say it. It's actually a great solution. It's just that the level where it operates is different. Yeah, so we are operating within the process, within the memory of the process actually, and
just loading different code in it.
right, and the antivirus and the way how it works, it operates simply on the files, on the operations on a disk, on the technically as part of that would be the minifilter driver.
Calling
so
to
on.
the Win32 API.
Exactly. So this is why phishing can be well done. In most cases, of course, we can easily recognize it, but when it's well done, it's really hard to recognize it as well. So anyway, we got this part. So
yeah, this will be really what can be used after the phishing. Yeah? So it's really how to deliver some additional payload and how to execute the code after someone received already the mail and was convinced to run something or to download something. I think it would be interesting.
here we go. Fantastic. So let's do it. Let's take this beautiful raccoon out. And long story short, the first demonstration that I've got for you would be related with the reverse shell on the other side. And I have over here a couple of examples of phishing where we're going to be looking at what is actually executing underneath. So over here, we've got Paula's console, and we're going to be just listening over here for the incoming connections on the port 443, just to set the point, just to prove the point that that kind of things were there, they were working, and what can we do next? And we're going to also do a follow-up on the next, because sometimes we might be thinking, oh, in order to destroy some part of the infrastructure, we have to be privileged. No, today we're going to be actually showing you how to affect the infrastructure security by being just a user.
Yes, and what we can extract from it. Because usually everything starts with just a user doing something. I don't want to say something that is irresponsible, but saying that he clicked on something by mistake, or he was convinced that it's okay to perform this action. And very important is to train the users and also to make an exercises that allow them to learn by example, also to test them if they really learn what you are delivering.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got the concept, yeah? So here someone sends an email, hey, there is a report with executive salaries. Why don't we just check out? And of course, at that stage, we've got the protection enable editing, which every user can click and everybody just says yes, right? Then we've got a warning about the macros. And again, I know that, and we know that you guys know, but this is to show you the technique that is actually sleeping underneath. So if you're going to go view macros, and then we can go to view macros over here, then we could have a look into this particular code underneath. Yeah, so we're going to do it, of course, in the moment. Yeah. So long story short, what happened over here and what actually happens over here. So when we got a possibility to see this one underneath, then you guys can see here that my mouse cursor over here is actually like the same one across every single cell. Yeah, because what is actually the thing, just to say you straight, is that this whole thing, it's a button.
Yeah, it's a picture, very big picture, exactly.
Exactly. So long story short, if we do have a closer look into this view over here, it looks pretty nasty, and this is the moment where this particular button ends. Yeah, so we kept it this way so that you guys can obviously see that, right? Anything that we're going to click over here, then, well, in here we got the information that the macros, they have been disabled because I actually opened the,
you close it.
the property, so I closed it. But eventually, if it's a very serious comment, but it's just enough to do it this way.
Yeah, you might be wondering why it's the button that you want to click there. Because if there is an on open action, then all of the antiviruses are going to scream, this is something fishy. This is something, oh, it shouldn't be like that.
Absolutely. And what's happening here underneath, we've got a reverse shell, which actually it is right now an executable, but hold on, right? And over here, technically, we could do who am I? Yeah, over here, and then it's cooler. Oh, that's great. It made my day. And then eventually we can do your host name. Yeah, you can see that that's this desktop computer. Yeah, and so on. So you can create a folder. And anyway, you see we are there. Yeah. So this is the setup. Now, whenever we are thinking about what's happening actually with this particular macro. So this is a little bit of an interesting part. If you go to percent and then program data percent, yes, this one particularly actually saves a txt, and then by using the certutil tool, so built-in Windows tool, it is actually decoding to an executable. Now, that's why, for example, we've got low bins and living of the non-binaries. So certutil being such an innocent tool, it is very often used within the macros or in general within the attack as one of the tools that is helping you, for example, to download files.
Yeah, but this one will be detected automatically. But here we are just decoding and encoding base 64. So this is something that is standard for the certutil and shouldn't be marked as a malware doing something wrong. Downloading the file with the certutil, yeah, I would guess it's malware. But just decoding and encoding files, no, this is the standard way.
Especially because when you look at this file over here, it looks like certificate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so looks like certificate, smells like certificate, must be a certificate. Certutil, it's dealing with it very well. Now let's have a look into details. Here, so we're going to do view, and then we can do macros, view macros. And over here, we can do edit. So this is the macro we are referring to. Yeah, and let me enlarge it a little bit. So here we've got downloading resources, CQUREacademy.com. And then basically we're getting this ref-pj.txt. Here we go. And then we are saving it as ref.txt. And therefore, we are using certutil this way. And we are decoding the text file into the executable. So we are not really downloading any executable out there. So any mechanism potentially could be bypassed like that. Yes. So if there is some monitoring for executables that we don't know, here we go. This executable is not digitally signed. Depends what you guys have over there. So that is one of the ways and one of the techniques that we could use to bypass it. Yeah.
Yeah. If you think that, for example, your IDS, IPS will detect it, come on. This is just a certificate. It even begins with the certificate name as a base 64 encoded certificate. So probably nothing will be triggering. Okay, so that's one of the execs. Do you have some other executables on the PowerShell?
PowerShell.
Or maybe PowerShell.
You want PowerShell? You got PowerShell.
Yeah, because when we think about the executable file, I would say, how about application-wide listing? Application-wide listing stopping the unknown executable. Yeah, perfect solution. Really go with application-wide listing, properly configured. That's the thing, because many times we see on our customer side that there are plenty of implementations of the AppLocker, Windows Defender application control, but we can bypass it. Of course, if you have already presence inside of the organization, it's easier. But even the standard rules are, let's say, the default rules are really, really bad because they can be just simply bypassed anytime we want. So when you have an application like this thing, those kind of attacks with downloading the executable file and running it will not work because it's brand new, unknown for your organization executive. So how about something that you know? And usually the PowerShell is allowed for the users to run, or at least administrators don't think it as a very dangerous thing. But is it really so safe to have PowerShell allowed for the users?
No, especially in the phishing perspective, it's not. And this is something that I would love to show you as well. So tell me the phishing you want, and you can get it. Yeah? So here we go. So I got COVID statistics. Brina, I'm sorry to put that subject to the field, but I think it's up to date. And as if it's about the phishing and the subject, it's actually pretty relevant. So over here, guys, same story. Yeah. So we've got a security warning and so on. So we can technically click whatever, and then there's a PowerShell that's opening underneath. So this time it's going to be the PowerShell. Of course, PowerShell, things like encoded command and so on, when we run them, that's already suspicious. Yeah. And for example, within the Defender, you will be able to see that in any other hopefully solutions as well. So it depends on the option. And over here, long story short, within the Linux box, we are able to spot what is also happening there. Yeah. So at the end, this is yeah, the possibility that we got. Let me see over here. More machine is kind of racing over here, but yeah.
Maybe we get it very soon to show us what really is about this reverse shell. Why we want this reverse shell? Okay, creating someone's file on the desktop or reading some files from the computer. Yeah, of course. But maybe we can do something more with this kind of modules here. Oh, I see you got the Linux again.
So, yeah, I got it. Something froze. So here we go. Yeah, so eventually we are able to see that we are connected once again. Yeah, and on this side over here, what would be great is to verify what is inside the macro, right? So here we go. Let's do view, and then we've got macros, and then view macros, and then edit. And you guys can see that there is actually the PowerShell that we have set up. So let me enlarge it. And it's quite a long command over here, but a couple of comments, yeah. So we've got technically the PowerShell, and then we've got the connection also here being established, and the full set and the full concept of the reverse shell over here is that we just have the reverse connection to the host. Yeah, so this particular one, it's a pretty simple command.
Yeah, because usually the first stage, as you can see here, is just to get the connection back, but then we usually want to load some payload inside of it, like a second stage of the malware, and this is done either automatically from the command and control center, so a special host that you already set it up, and then after the connection back to it, for example, for your Linux, then we are getting automatically the next step, which delivers really the full functionality, for example, like a keylogger or getting webcam screenshots, this kind of stuff. Okay, I don't know who would like my screenshot from the webcam, probably no one. But getting the keys, the keystrokes that I'm typing in, especially when I'm typing the passwords, that would be something interesting. Or replacing the code, the bank account number.
Yeah, so this is actually our CQURE post exploit lib, so post execution library. That is also one of the examples over here. Yeah, so happy of course to show you. We were also showing it on the previous webinar that we were running, but if you guys are interested, we can do it again. We don't want to repeat ourselves in a sense. Anyway, so over here, one more example. Yeah, and that example is technically quite a similar one, but it's touching base on Win32 API, which Mike is also covering later on from also the securing perspective, because this is quite a good thing to know. So over here, we've got just again, so like same or similar looking example to the previous one. We enable content from macros, then there is this big button, of course. User clicks whatever. Now, I don't know how about you, but I've got this sense that whenever, for example, I open up Excel spreadsheet, I want to just click on the empty cell, right? Just because I want to have control. So some people have that, like you have that.
Yeah,
right?
I said I the same.
So here we go. So counting really on that, and that is a pretty good trick. So please observe in my demonstration one thing. When I'm going to click over there, somewhere, then you're going to see like this little icon in the taskbar, over there, appearing that it's this icon for the Outlook Contacts app. Okay, so let's do it this way. I'm going to do that. And please look at the bottom. Here we go. That's actually for quite a while. You can spot that. So now what is happening is that this particular macro did one thing. It actually sends to Paula, so to myself, some contacts that you guys have in your Outlook contacts. And that's this time Elton John and Anthony Stark. Okay. I won't mind.
Nice contacts there.
I won't mind. That's great. Anyway, so this is it. So you can see that underneath, and again, just to demonstrate a little bit of what's happening, is that you can see within the view macros. Yeah, so this is basically just simply, we are just running a software underneath. Yeah, so this is basically just a simple setup with this particular here we go. Macro action, yes. So we just run the code and that's it. So bring it on. Now, question would be how eventually we are able to put this demonstrations further, yeah, because we could see that we've got a couple of case studies with attachment. We can also see that there is a phishing with the PowerShell, right? But then the question is, how can we actually stop it, right? How can we prevent it? So Mike, stage is yours.
Yeah, so definitely.
Sorry to interrupt you. By the way, there is a reason why he has a white shirt on the black screen and I'm the black shirt on the white screen. By the way, it's just by accident, literally, that happened today, but I do all the bad stuff and you do all the good stuff.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
yeah, it's kind of like this, right?
Yeah,
anyway, just
no, I will show one bad thing.
Okay, so here we go.
No, but it's like spy versus spy, if you remember.
Spy versus spy. Great.
Okay. So let's do the screen sharing from my side this time. And I'm going into the Windows 10. It's time to show you one of the features that is very, very nice. It's going to be attack surface reduction rules. So if I have antivirus here, okay, and it should be turned on, by the way, let's double check it. Okay, some warnings on it, but real-time protection should be on. Yes, current threats, okay, this is on. Some probably settings are just disabled inside of it, doesn't matter. The basic ones are enabled right away. And I have as well the same statistics as you had. Okay, I will be not using the reverse shell here, but by clicking on the picture, boom, PowerShell is popping up as it's supposed to be. So what can we do about it? There is a set of the rules that are blocking some of the well-known paths of the attack or paths of which are used with the, for example, Office applications like Word, Excel, or for example, Adobe PDF, Acrobat Reader. So those are blocked very easily. Of course, if your Windows Defender is running, because if it's stopped completely, it's disabled, then we cannot do that. Okay, one of the rules is block all Office application from creating a child process. That's really, really powerful thing. Why? What is the reason for starting anything from within your Excel file? There's absolutely no need for it. So let's just enable this rule. It's set attack surface reduction rules. You can set it up, of course, through the GPO, but I'm lazy, so starting directly from the PowerShell and attack surface reduction rules enable. Let's try to do exactly the same thing. I didn't change the file. This is exactly the same file as previously. Let's click on it. Boom. Virus and threat protection action blocked. It's a low risk probably. Risk action block, low. This is exactly what I'm trying to block here. So I want to block completely the Office application from starting anything from any other program. The only one trick is that if it's already in the same folder as it was, it might be started even with this rule enabled, but probably user will never have access to write any files in the Office installation folder. Another very useful rule is this one, block Win32 API calls from Office macro. Because sometimes we really need to start additional software, additional program from within the Excel. But running Win32 API calls, probably not. So in such cases, this rule would be a little bit better for your organization and to disable it. It's very easy to enable it. You have it already in the Windows, but if you, of course, are using the Windows Defender, if not, that's not obligatory. Other solutions as well have very similar techniques. Just look into your solution, which is an anti-malware solution, and check if something similar exists there. Because absolutely, your Excel should not be used to start other programs for it. Or go even further, sign your macros. So only allow to run macros which are digitally signed. And then your development team can create macros that are used inside of your organization. And even if user is getting a message with the Excel file with macro inside, they cannot start it because your policy can be set to the level in which unsigned macros are completely not allowed to run.
Mm-hmm. Alice has a very interesting question on YouTube. Curious on what the process would be. So this is what we are talking about right now. For something like clicking on an image within the Excel, could execute some script, who in this case, which send context to the malicious actor. So in general, to call for some action, right? And here, what Mike is talking about, that's the process following. So eventually, you are able to execute the code inside an Excel executable.
Yeah, really, maybe it was this one as well, but also the process that was sending the content that you've been using, I think it was something with Python?
That was actually with the Python compiled stuff, absolutely. But for example, when we are talking about the Win32, the concept, then basically, if we could, for example, in the code.
I know what you are pointing
so that
to.
you can see the console, the icon of Excel.
Yes.
And the path for Excel, but you have the CMD, right?
Yeah, that's a perfect technique for bypassing, for example, AppLocker. This is ultimate bypass for AppLocker or for Windows Defender application control. Process following. So starting the process that is on the list of the allowed.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you are starting it from Excel, from the macro. So which process is definitely allowed to start? Excel.
Right. Excel.
Yeah.
Excel.
And pause it automatically when it's created and replace the content. So it's not really the code of the Excel that will be executed after you unpause the process, but it will be different content. And this is how the process following works. It will be stopped by the ASR rules because Win32 APIs are really used during the process following. So in such case, even it's a nice combination of using multiple things. Of course, anti-malware, good anti-malware, blocking the child processes or blocking the Win32 API calls from within Office applications. Usually it's not necessary to do that, to really use those calls. And of course, application whitelisting to prevent something like Polo was showing with the Python script that was executing and running and extracting the contacts from it.
So to say, in human language, for the process following, that will be just Excel. So you are not really executing any process over there. You are just running it within the inside of an Excel, and that's what makes that as an advanced vision. Yeah. So here we go. So we can, as you showed, yes. So we can do the process following. So we can start just code in Excel. So that's the exploitation technique. Another part, we could start a child process, for example. Which is also a classic thing to run macros, right? So whether it's going to be PowerShell that we were discussing over here, whether it's going to be the reverse shell, which is actually the simplest form that I was starting with, or it's going to be the Python compiled stuff and that kind of stuff. So you are starting the process that's a child process, which you can technically block. And some of you guys are mentioning Carbon Black response and McAfee, semantic, and so on. So
EDRs.
So EDRs, exactly. So this is the point. EDR, it's a new black today.
Yeah, it's like I always think about EDRs, XDRs, etc. But those are really the anti-malware on steroids. So they have those rules. They have those rules enabled inside. So they are not only watching what is it starting, but what is it really doing. It's not about having a pattern inside of the libraries, inside of the code. It's not the binary pattern, but it's a pattern of actions that are detected there. And some of them are really, really good, and they are learning how to detect what is normally done by the user and what is something odd. For example, a simple thing, detecting when the ransomware is running in your environment. You start opening and writing the content of many files, much more than usually you open. How many Excel files you open per 1 hour? I know you can do a lot, but let's say a standard person is opening like 10 Excels per hour, and that's enough. But when you start to write the content of 100 or 1,000 files per hour,
right.
So that's something odd. And yeah, those are great solutions. And this is the future as well, to incorporate the artificial intelligence / machine learning inside of those solutions.
Now we're gone here like for a couple of hours because the machine learning.
Okay, let's go back to the phishing
yeah.
maybe, okay,
Right,
and the
right.
techniques which we were planning there, but we always love to have a lot of comments and the chat discussion with you guys. Really like it.
Lovely. So by the way, of course we're getting forward, but you guys ask like, what is actually the good EDR? Like, we really want to avoid recommending anything, because like we are as a team very objective, or we try to be objective. So basically, we're not really attached to anything. Just to mention a few, right? But without really the recommendation. So we've got simply the Defender ATP, or Defender for endpoints. There's the FireEye endpoint security. There's like a Sophos Intercept. Carbon Black itself, Bitdefender is also there.
I think one of the McAfee's is as well. The new one.
Right. The McAfee. There is also VMware. There is a Sentinel one.
Lots of
I like Palo Alto has, of course, Traps.
Oh yeah,
of course. So like with the great history, right? So. Long story short, there are many of those. It's just the matter of functionality that we want to achieve. So what we want to get, phishing wise, we want to block this particular technique. Yeah. So we want to block child processes. We want to block Win32 API. I would recommend that you guys look at the attack surface reduction rules website from the Microsoft.
Yeah, because they are there.
Right, and over there, you got written comments, the rules as Michael's showing what they can offer you. So that gives you the concept of what you may want, for example. Yeah, so here we go.
Yeah, and the ultimate answer of every consultant, it depends.
So we all hate, but here we go. Okay, so getting into the next subject, because we've got phishing is executed, phishing is executed as a user, yeah. And now question is, we've got a reverse shell. We were showing to you that one, guys. And what can we do next? So we get a concept of shadow IT, of course, repeatedly presented on all of the presentations, where we focus on low-hanging fruits or misconfigured things, vulnerable things being in the infrastructure, especially right now when you connect, for example, through VPN. Who knows, or like who else is sitting at my laptop? If you guys have family, kids, or neighbors, or someone comes over, we don't lock the desktop. It may not be even intentional. Someone opens up something, and then here we go. The problem is ready. So, Mike, one of your favorite attacks, VPN pivoting.
Yeah, it's showing a lot that the security right now is not really on the network boundary. It's we should think about it as an identity boundary right now. But the thing with the VPN pivoting is that whenever you allow someone to connect through the VPN, you allow everything that he has on his computer to get inside of your VPN host. I know, you can try to block those and to treat this kind of traffic as a completely untrusted one and going into the direction of zero trust. I like this concept where we think that there is no difference if someone is on premise or it's in the internet. It's always treated as the same. So let me just simply show how easy it is, especially that Paula was showing you some of the reverse shells. I will use the different one here, but just that this one is much more well known for everyone than our CQ something reverse shell and the payload that you mentioned as an additional one stage. But first, let's set up the stage. So this is my Kali Linux. This is the attacker, of course, and the network in which I am right now is 192, 168, 247. This is like a public network, let's say. Doesn't matter where is it. It's not my corporate network. The corporate network is the 10.10.10.0/24. This is the corporate network. So if I just try to do something like, let's say, nmap on the one of the IP addresses, I should get that everything is filtered and I cannot just reach this element. Yeah, filter everything, because really I do not have any possibility to get to this IP address right now. But I already prepared the malware. I delivered the malware to the Windows machine, and I will use, of course, everyone's favorite MSF console. So Metasploit always rules. For the demo purposes, it's extremely useful. And as you can guess, the next thing will be the use of one of the modules. So I will use the exploit multi-handler, also very useful module, and set a couple of parameters here for L4 4444, sorry, 104, and set the Lhost for my IP address. So 247.132, that was my IP address. And the last part is a payload, which is the Windows, and as you can guess, it would be a Meterpreter as one of the most popular ones, and Meterpreter reverse TCP. Why? Because it's very powerful, at the same time just showing a couple of elements. So exploit -JZ, okay, XZ. And now it's time for waiting for the connection to be recreated, because I left the payload, which should automatically reset. Oh, and we got it here. Exactly, this is the session 1 open. So on the sessions, if I just go to this first session, I'm starting interactive and then going to the shell. So this is very similar what Paolo was doing, and just getting, for example, who am I? This time it will be not Paolo, it's Mike.
Here we go.
No surprise.
The shell I was using was actually, as you mentioned, the CQURE shell.
Yeah.
So that's the shell that is not recognized by antivirus
Exactly.
as well. And this one, sometimes it gets recognized.
This one? This one always.
Yeah. This one does. But you can of course work on it with the MSF enemy to make it actually a really nice one. Yeah. But the reverse shell is our CQURE reverse shell. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, because it's not well known. Come on. So.
Plus, just to be fair, it uses a reflection technique, which is actually loading the code in encrypted form to the memory, and over there it decrypts it and then it compiles it. So whole operation is in a memory. What else to need over here?
Yeah, so I just executed the command ipconfig on the remote host, for which I have the reverse shell, and guess what? There is a PPP adapter VPN2. Which allows me to get to the network which I want to scan for. So if I use the ping and go, for example, with the IP address that I well know, of course, this is a little bit of cheating on my side here, but it's spinning up the demo. I'm showing that there is a possibility to get to this. But let's get outside of it. Oh, I forgot to show you one more thing. There are the VPN passwords. So nice. Let's go to the tools. I already copied the file that be faster, got the PowerShell. Okay, and yes, because the name of our scripts is always very long, CQURE open VPN DPAPI decryptor, and let's run it. Okay, and it's showing me 2 passwords here for the 2 connections in my OpenVPN. And I will show you later on how this one works. Where is it? Read the password, and how easy it is to get someone's secrets when you are impersonating this user. Okay, so let's get outside of it and get back to the VPN pivoting. And let's go with the background process and run. This time I'm adding the route. So route add 10, 10, 10, and 0 with the mask 24 bits for me. And it was session 1, as I remember. Yes, route added. So now it's to use the auxiliary module, which is the server, and this one is SOX4 server. And simple run command. Yeah. And it's starting the proxy server SOX4A and I'm going to use a proxy chains. Proxy chains is a tool which is automatically, by the way, is configured for this proxy. If I want to show you what is in the, let's say, Vim etc proxy chains conf, then you will see that automatically it's set it up for my local host and the port 1080, because this is on which the auxiliary module in the Metasploit is really working. And previous command was nmap, that was the command, proxy chains, and running it with the proxy chains. This time it's not filtered. As you can see, it's going through this port 1080, and it's automatically detecting those ports. So simply, you can see, for example, 8080 is open. So I can jump and pivot through someone else's session, which is connected through the VPN to get inside of the organization, even that the machine is connected outside and there is no additional ports open on the firewall, nothing like that. Another one, proxy chains, just simply go with the Firefox, because there was an 8080, so probably I can go to the port and I have some very legacy JPOS server. Now everything is open for me to get some exploits and continue display and execute something already on the server there.
No, we could be thinking that, okay, but we have prepared this attack. Actually, this is such a classic path to get in. Yeah. And that is exactly what we want to show you, that the next step, once you are already there, I mean, it's just a matter of imagination. Yeah? So here we could use the VPN pivoting. You might use actually data protection API for the OpenVPN password extraction, right?
I will bring it up right now. This is the Windows 10 machine on which I was executing the script, and this is exactly the script. I just opened it in the Windows just to show you how in the pretty nice editor ICE to show how easy it is. There is no special code in it. Just look at it. I'm loading the C# library, system security, then getting child items, so getting what is inside of the registry of current user, as you can see, HKCU, software, OpenVPN GUI configs. Okay, and if you ever save the password in the OpenVPN, it is there. So for each of those configs, I can get for the is the scope for the current user, because this is something that I need to choose if it's for the user or is it for the system. This one is for the user, of course. So I'm getting an entropy. This is like a special password. So it's a key that is used for the decryption. And I'm getting like 16 bytes of the entropy. So because the last character is really 00, the null character, so I want to remove it because it's not needed in the C# and it would be breaking my decryption. And the last part is really that based on the username, okay, based on the scope, I can just simply politely ask the system security cryptography protect data to unprotect.
And as simple as this, right?
As simple as this.
And by the way, that's not a new script, because this is a script that you wrote like a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, it's something when I started to work also with the CQURE. CQURE is really great at data protection API. Paula just love it. So everywhere when we think about how the passwords are stored, well, for example, here in OpenVPN, and the same script is just writing this on the screen here, and that's all.
Great. So just to also round up, that is all because you were running the reverse shell, right? So you managed to go to the further steps within the organization's infrastructure through phishing, because that was a point of entry. Also, when you are actually running particularly things as a user, again, it doesn't have to be a privileged access in order to move forward. And just to add one more small cherry on the dessert that you were serving over here, that will be technically a little bit of an explanation about the data protection API, which I have to put on because some of you guys might be not familiar with the subject, and I'm gonna like twist it a little bit. So even though you guys know it, we're gonna talk about this one from a little bit different angle. Yeah.
So we want to discuss how really the data protection API is protecting the secrets and how it can be broken, who can access it as well, not only the user, maybe.
Right, exactly. So not only the user, we're gonna also touch base. So let me actually show you. So we're gonna touch base on the data protection API from the perspective, like just to explain under which conditions someone is able to get someone's credentials. Yeah, so that will be the setup. So what I'm gonna do, let me also get to my screen this time, and eventually what you guys see on the screen right now, that is actually the Windows 10 client. So I'm logged in over here as this guy, so that's the Freddy Krueger, and eventually here we've got the possibility to log in as that user with this password. Yeah, so password, you saw it, yeah? So here we go. Now here we got Chrome Pass, and the Chrome Pass, it's a Nearsoft tool. So you can download it from the Nearsoft. It's a tool written by Nearsoftware, really great too. Also, like that tool, it's only for Chrome, yes, but you got, for example, Lazan, which is a really nice tool as well to extract information. You got our tools, so there's a plenty. Some of you guys were asking where we can find our tools, and actually we're going to show you the link when we finish this technical part, because they are on our blog. So over here, you are able to see that we've got this particular password that's visible. Now, just to put on a little bit of a data protection API theory, yeah, the only reason why we are able to see the password from Chrome using Chrome Pass, so not really Chrome directly, it's because we are running this Chrome Pass as ourselves, as we are. Yeah, so that might not sound very logical, but because you are you, that's why we are able to open this app. Now, just to give you the technical glimpse over here, within the user's profile, when we go to updata, %, we go to the Freddy Krueger updata roaming, we can go to the Microsoft, we can go to protect, we can go to SID, and then these are the master keys. Now, you guys technically can do the same right now, but the thing is that this folder, it's system folder and it's also protected. So you have to unhide it, yeah? And then you have to display the system folders. So two checkboxes out there, and then you will be able to see the master keys. There's no option, you have 0. You have to have something, yeah? So if you don't see anything, then it means you did not select any of these unhide options, yeah? So this is the setup. Now over here, I can see the chat for the passwords. So here we go. Now in here, we've got this B55. That is actually the master key that is used for Google Chrome. How do I know? Now, this is also fantastic for someone who is delivering the phishing campaign. If I would have an access like this, would I check for that? 100%, 1000%, I would check for this. So what kind of secret you actually have in your box? So I'm going to go to the CQ tools over here, DP API, and then we're going to do CQ DP API block searcher. To be sincere, one of, if not my favorite tool from our toolkit.
Yeah, it's very useful. It's searching everywhere for all the blobs because they begin with very well-known prefix, so we can search for the registry, and this is, for example, how we found the OpenVPN, and also going with other like files, folders.
Yeah, so I see your question, but by the way, and any, just to summarize, any software that's leveraging DP API in Windows, which I'm not saying is bad, yeah, it's a good platform. We work it, of course, but it doesn't mean it's bad. This is in order to learn how it works, and eventually we've got the approach where we can search for all of the secrets that are stored in this box. So someone who's delivering phishing is interested in this. Anyway, let's get into techy part. CQDP API block searcher, and then we go to the directory, where I'm gonna just do with the mind of time, we're gonna go to the users. Immediately to the Freddy, and then we're going to go to updata, local, and then Google, and then Chrome. We could do it on a C drive. That would be best way of running it, but it just takes time. So here we go, Chrome, and then we're going to do a recursive search output, and we're going to put the output in the CQ tools, for example, and then we're going to stream the whole thing into dp api.txt. And having this in mind, yeah, if we get into dp API file, then opening it, you guys can see that very, very quickly, our tool goes through the data protection API blobs, meaning secrets that are encrypted by using different apps, but using the Windows functions. Plus, what's cool about the tool is that some of the tools, they actually store the secret in the form of a base 64. So our tool additionally decodes it. And if it sees base 64 and some other encoding methods, then it decodes it and then it tells you it's a secret. It's actually ultimately cool, I think. But anyway, so here we've got, for example, B55. So this is the master key that we have here identified as the one that is used by the Google Chrome. Funny part, Google Chrome is using SHA-1 and triple des underneath. My favorite comment, but we can move forward with this one. What?
No,
nothing.
Just remember that triple des cannot be used for the new systems or for those which exist. It's okay, unless it's very, very big data that you transfer.
There we go. Okay, so
yeah, the PhD thing.
So here we go. So then we've got so this one. And long story short, we are able to see that that's B55 that's responsible for protecting the Google Chrome secrets. So this is how we learn how many secrets do we actually have, right? Now, just to prove to you that whenever we run things as this user, then we can see secrets. That's a fact. So for phishing campaigns, that's perfect situation to be in. So just to confirm that if I do one thing, and I'm going to do one technical change over here to prove to you that from the other user perspective, that these credentials are not possible, so not possible to be seen. So if, for example, hacker manages to be system in this box, the hacker cannot get the user credentials until the user is logged in over there, and then you can always impersonate. Yeah, so use the impersonate privilege in this box. So this is already the next step of the campaign. And of course, using the theory of a DP API, if it's a domain account, then master key is also protected in a different way, and the private key is out there in a domain. So you guys can watch our other, just check out our blog for DP API. There's so much over there. And then basically, you're going to see also the big attack on the domain that we could deliver, yeah? But we are focusing on phishing here. So technically, what I would love to stay with, and I would love to show you this one, is that if I do change the password in the illegal way, then I'm not getting access to the passwords of the user, okay? And I'm going to do it all offline. We could also, by the way, do it online, so we don't have to reboot. But I just want to do it quick and linear so that we got the concept. So what I'm going to do over here is that I'm going to repair a computer, troubleshoot, advanced options, command prompt, and then here I'm going to go to the D drive, yeah, there we go, D, yes, and then we're going to go to the CQ tools and CQURE Secure Edition, and this is actually our edition of Mimikatz with our module. So here we go. This one is also, by the way, not recognized by vast majority of antivirus solutions. And we're going to do LSA dump, cache, like this, and then we're going to do D, Windows, system32, config, and then system to override cache logon data to show you that if I log in with that different password, the credentials would not be available. So security/QURE. There we go. So these two, I made a typo somewhere. Let's say dump, down. That sounds fun. Okay, dump. Okay, here we go. And then we made it. Yeah. So the next part would be to disconnect this machine to the from the network to log on with the cache logon data. Cache logon data are not cache credentials. So just saying, okay, apply, continue, and then eventually we will be able to see that after the reboot, I'm not booting from the CD/DVD right now, user won't be able to get access to his own credentials because the password that we used to log on, it's not allowing us to decrypt that master key that we were looking for. So here we go. Let me see if I can log in with the Freddy Krueger's old password. This is a domain account. Have a look, yeah? So then basically we're going to do Mimikatz, and that is actually our password that I'm logged in with right now. But because the password is different and master keys are for the domain users encrypted with the MD4 of the previous user password, then even though I would love to get access to the password of the user, it takes time and eventually that won't be available. So over here, we've got Chrome Pass, and we are not getting these particular credentials. Unfortunately, of course, you don't see the final stage yet, but wait for it, wait for it. We have to check all of the master keys and bring it on. The password is empty.
Yeah, of course, this is something that's showing you what can be done after the phishing campaign. Yeah, so what is the danger of those? And the thing is that not really the vulnerabilities is the main reason for the compromise of the systems. It's not that someone will get like not updated system and not seeing it and using some exploit on it. Okay, maybe the latest exchange exploits.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
they were right. The one that were the danger. But whenever user is giving or opening a file or giving his credentials, it's opening the environment for so many different attacks. It always starts from the user perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So really, I think it's very important to educate the users.
Mm-hmm.
No?
Yeah, that is definitely one of the cases, but also using a little bit of a philosophical approach, is human really the weakest link in the whole technology chain? Depends really how we look at it, yes, because the whole technology that we have right now, it's actually allowing to prevent things that we were simply showing. It's a well-designed phishing campaign that executes, that works in vast majority of organizations. People fall for it because it's well-designed, well-written, yes, and at the end, in the back, that could be prevented.
Yeah, I always think when you are saying that is the people, the human is the weakest link, I think, yeah, in the cybersecurity, you can increase, for example, the strength of the algorithm or increase the key size, but can you increase the size of your brain?
Probably not. Probably not. I wish I would like to have a brain like this. Okay, anyway, or 3 of those. Yeah, that'll be dangerous. Okay, anyway, let's move forward. So that particular webinar, by the way, was just like a foretaste for what you're going guys to learn within the course. Yeah. So the threat is not new, but it's constantly growing, and the number of cases that we can see as well is definitely increasing, and even more because people are embarrassed to announce it sometimes. Yeah. So the digital transformation. The whole process right now, it actually speeded up a little bit, and I had a very interesting conversation about that. Basically, we have the digital transformation that is enforced right now by the need to adjust to the remote work. So even the companies were not planning it, that time frame just makes it like pushy. Yeah, so this is the thing, and right now it's just speeded up by the COVID as well. Yeah, so people want to make sure that they are working efficiently from home.
Yeah, it got to the crazy stage when you cannot even buy a really good web camera because it's not accessible on the market.
Yeah, exactly. So this is one of our cases. But last year, in general, just to summarize, the phishing was definitely on the rise, and the stats are in every single report saying that was the case. And at the end, we have at CQURE received many requests for our services connected with phishing, as we mentioned. So at the end, like there are the ones pretty much that we are handling with right now. So Mike, like what did we do? Can you explain a little bit more?
We came up with a solution quite natural as we are leading CQURE Academy, which mission is to educate. This is one of the 3 pillars of our company really. Education, I think, is very, very important. We've just wanted to educate a couple of experts to have more hands on deck on the cybersec world, and we created a course that would help cybersecurity specialists, experts, to learn how to prepare their company for real phishing attacks and how to conduct the tests, and so to challenge the users and to challenge everyone in the organization with the simulations of the phishing campaigns.
Okay, so yes, the one mentioned earlier, the social engineering and phishing mastery, which we want to present here briefly. let us do that. So here we go. Who is invited? Yes. So if you are like wondering, is it really for you or something? Just have a look. Of course, you don't have to be an experienced like red teamer at the end, but you should understand our approach. So be a little fluent in PowerShell. Know the operating system.
A little bit, I would say, yeah.
Right.
I understand the DNS and because we are using typo spotting there a lot. Basic understanding of the networks, but also knowledge about SMTP protocol, how it's configured, how you use the SPF, DKIM, etc. DMARC. We will be exploring it a lot. We will get into that, but having a basic knowledge on that one will help you to get much more from this course. And also understanding a little bit of the HTTP protocol and how the browsers are working. That's, I think.
And as a red teamer, you should always be ready for a fight.
Yeah.
And that is what we are looking for. So long story short, it is actually a brand new course, brand new. And eventually it is created for the present threats that we have right now, but it has something to do like with the previous trainings. And it is technically the stuff that we have encountered within the projects. What's the good practice? How to play with the well-designed phishing campaign? What is actually phishing? How to have your own phishing campaign? So this is basically what is the setup. Of course, it's for the red teamers with the good purpose, yes. And you will find there only tools and techniques that we are using at our work. Yeah.
Just remember, you don't need to be a red teamer right now. Because you do not need to really do all the penetration testing. You can start with the phishing as a first part. Later on, you can, of course, get more knowledge and start to do all the more advanced techniques, more advanced tasks after the initial phase of really getting a foothold in the security of the organization and then seeing what can be done more.
Absolutely. So the good recognition of a target, for example, it's one of the success factors there. Yeah. So to find out that Jimmy Raccoon, as we use in our examples, is actually hired by a certain organization. He finished university on Cayman Islands, and he is actually a PhD developer. Yes. So these are the things that we are always looking at. Now, what else?
Yeah, so the second part would be about infrastructure preparation. I mentioned that when Paolo was setting up everything, that we can have a second stage of the malware that is delivered automatically from the command and control server or infrastructure. Then how to set up all the necessary tools, what is possible to automate. So you will not send a mail by using gas and out. By the way, sometimes we do that. But it's really nicely targeted kind of phishing. But when it's a more like massive one, then we go with automatic tools and how to customize or how to extend it to your needs, because this is also sometimes very nice, how to tune it exactly and have a bespoke solution that will fit into your organization really. And what's next?
Yeah, absolutely. So the next one is the payload preparation. And that's my favorite part.
Yeah, I love that part.
Exactly, because this is what we've been also demonstrating. So the well-designed working payload. So what that will be? So it could be Excel with a macro, or it could be, for example, a link to click, what's underneath, and so on. So how to copy the site that will look exactly the same, how to make it efficient working data gathering. So well-designed phishing campaign, as simple as this. And the payload in general, it's really nice to learn how to prepare a good payload, because you can also, guys, use it for your penetration testing activities, where eventually you could create a payload, good reverse shells that you could use in some other, not necessarily phishing campaigns, but also in your projects, including fileless malware, which is actually one of our favorite subjects here. And at the end, we've got lessons learned and reporting.
Yeah, of course, because you should know how to protect from this kind of attacks. Of course, some attacker might be on our course. We are not trying to teach the hackers how to breach the security of the organizations, but I think always when you learn how someone can attack, you should learn how to stop this or prevent this kind of text. So all the good practices, how to protect, how to educate the users, so how to deliver the security awareness trainings, and as well how to report to the management. Sometimes very funny stuff is coming out of it, seeing how the information about the phishing campaigns is propagating, for example, in your organization, who is talking with who, and yeah, lots of fun stuff.
Okay, so of course the question is, why did we design this course? Yeah, and well, I can say it was just simply crazy because there are so many situations, so many moments where phishing was the first initial point that was actually used within the attack to get access to our customers' data. So we had a customer that we spent the full vacation on. You were managing this project where the whole infrastructure has been encrypted with the ransomware. I'm sure you did not forget about it because it was such a big black gap in the Mike's life cycle because he was like completely engaged within this project because this was an emergency for the factories in the whole world. Yes. In the whole world, yes. And then we've got government organizations, financial organizations, then public organizations, including military organizations. Well, actually, from every single sector, different customers who were actually targets of successful phishing campaigns. And I will never forget that actually this was a lady, her name was Veronique, at one of our oil and gas customers. She's awesome, by the way. I love her. She's very socializing. Like she has accounts on all these Instagrams, like Twitters. She's like everywhere. Snapchats, like whatever. Yeah. So here we go. And then she got an email from the customer side that was saying that someone left you the voice message on the Dropbox. How often people do that to other people? No, but she was like, oh, nice. There's someone who wants to talk with me, and then bring it on. That was actually through phishing campaign. There was a ransomware brought to the field, and then they were completely wasted with the ransomware. Oh my gosh. So there's so much happening out there. So this is exactly why we designed this course.
Yeah, exactly. Seeing it like it's increasing, especially with the remote working right now, because you lose usually this first line of the defense, something that's monitoring the incoming the traffic or outgoing traffic. Especially, we had like recently the case in which the company got very lucky because their firewalls were configured to block completely high ports from outgoing traffic. So they got the first stage, the second stage didn't kick in. So they seem like a laying around malware on multiple servers, but they were not able to communicate with the command and control center. That was lucky for them.
So this is a training that I'd love to attend. Why nobody designs a training for me? Tell me.
I don't know. It sounds like a dream course for you, Paula.
It is definitely.
Maybe
like,
someone should create a training for you.
It feels sometimes so bad that you are the one that creates a training, and then you were like, I want to be like receiving. But anyway, so here we go.
Yeah, but before you start designing some trainings for Paula, by the way, you have to check out what she prepared for you. We are waiting for your opinions as this next training designed for you. And I know that the cybersecurity audience has rather high expectations. I also have it, by the way. So we want to meet them. And your feedback would be highly appreciated.
Please do, of course. And we are very picky on the quality as well. So within our team, we have really strict rules about that. So here we go. Hopefully you're gonna love it. And we have also, you guys also have a chance to earn a CQURE official certificate. So just to put that on, and it's one of a kind. Here we go.
Yeah, but it's not so easy. It's not just an attendance of the course. You have to do two things. First, choose the course option that includes the certification.
Okay.
Well, that's easy.
That's an easy part.
Yeah, and pass the exam. Of course, 70% of the answers should be correct to become phishing specialist certified by CQURE. And it's a proctored exam. It's not just a quiz.
Proctored exam. We love those. We like to torture you with exams for sure. But anyway, don't worry. You can take your time and attempt to enter the exam as many times as you need. So this is also quite nice within our part. And of course, you might be wondering, what is the price of the course? So the regular price of this fishing adventure depends on the option you will choose. Yeah, so you can decide to learn without the certification for 499. And eventually the certified version value is a little bit higher, and it's 799, as it requires actually much more effort. Yeah,
it's high quality trademark, so why it isn't so easy to pass the exam. However, if you gain it, you will be sure that it's really proves your skill on that topic.
Okay, so eventually summarizing what you guys gonna get. As you can see, the course, it's not only the hard skills you learn, you also get access to practical knowledge and skills that were tested, and that's important, in the real world cases during our CQURE's work. And that's what we see, that's what we think, and we are, especially right now, so engaged, as even Stats say, in that particular part.
Yeah, but the course is also very easy to use. Maybe not the knowledge inside of it, finance or not, but yeah, the course is also very easy to use. You can access it online for 12 months from its start, so you have plenty of time for that. By the way, we are starting on March 26th, so there is not so much time left.
March 26th, here we go. Yeah, but to be fair, because of that, because we are starting and launching and announcing, we've got a little bit of a surprise for you, because you are attending this webinar. As I said before, the webinar is just the beginning, and to appreciate all of you guys that joined this particular fishing webinar, and if you want to join our fishing deep dive course, we want to give you quite a high discount, as you can see.
Yeah, wow, it's quite impressive, I would say.
We did our best.
I don't need to pay for this course, but if I had to, I would definitely use such a discount.
Well, okay, so you guys just catch it before it expires, and it's valid until next Monday. So today, within our time zone, we've got Wednesday, and until the next. Today is Wednesday.
Yes, still Wednesday.
Yes. And it's valid until next Monday.
Is someone from Australia making our call?
Oh, for sure. Here we go. But learn more by accessing this link. So it's CQUREacademy.com/fishing. It's easy. Yeah, and then basically you're gonna get this particular discount. Yeah, so here we go. CQUREacademy.com/fishing. I hope that you guys gonna attend. So if you got any questions, here you got the details on our website. It's absolutely easy, and then technically this discount is valid till next Monday. So now I think it will be lovely to ask you the question. Do you guys have any questions?
I've seen some of them on the chat already, so I will be asking you the questions.
Okay.
Maybe I will some also as well. Okay, so is it similar to the OCSP with the practical questions on the exam? I think the most of it is theoretical in most cases, because the building of the infrastructure is quite. We are still working on some of the exam aspects there, but yeah.
But our exams are like theory mixed with the practice, and it's proctored, so it's comparable in a sense. Yes, it's comparable.
Yeah.
And you also have a time for limited time for this, and also has time to send the answers and so on. So yes.
I'm just wondering, Marek is asking, I'm wondering who use only one-factor authentication for the VPN. And let's say this, I've seen this year many organizations still with single-factor authentication. They are in the progress of changing it. Sometimes it requires to upgrade the solution. Sometimes it's required to get additional workforce. It's usually more difficult for big organizations to roll out it for the users than to just reconfigure the networks. Imagine that you have 10,000 employees working around the world, and they need to start using non-technical users. Okay, start using different way. the adoption process for it, it's not so short. But I can completely agree with Marek that single factor for the VPN is asking for trouble.
Right, right. Mm-hmm.
So, any other questions there? You see, Paula, maybe?
Yeah, I'm just checking. I can see, by the way, the guys that I know. So hi, first of all, because I can see. So that's awesome.
I see that the Chrome pass is detected as a malware. Yeah, some of our tools, by the way, if you get to the resources, CQUREacademy.com, you can see that Microsoft ATP can get it marked as a danger website because, for example, the second stage of the malware is there as well, so it was definitely selected many times there, and it can be blocked there. So I see question from Jessica. What knowledge do you have to go into the certification with in order to be successful in the program? I think that being on this course will prepare you very nicely for the exam, because the exam will be just from this part. It will not go outside of the course content. So I think
you don't need to worry about it. So you have to be there with your heart and soul and mind, and then we're gonna prepare you. We are not like challenging you with requiring on the exam something that wasn't in the course. Who likes this? Sincerely, who likes this? Like nobody does. And we could be of course saying that it's gonna better prepare you for the challenges for the upcoming world. Come on, like our goal is to learn fishing. So if you guys gonna be on a course, then you're gonna learn, because we are doing our best to make it in the best way we could deliver it. So here we go. And yes, we're gonna prepare you for the exam.
Yeah, and I see another question from Hassan. I'm wondering about companies that hide their real IP addresses behind technique work against that. I'm not sure which technique you are referring to, but if it's about the reverse shell, it does not matter what kind of IP addresses, what you have in front. Is it the reverse proxy in front of it? Is it the load balancing? Nothing. This is the reverse proxy. The reverse shell is that the host that I'm attacking already is connecting back to me. So I'm not initiating the connection. The host is initiating. For example, you have seen that I have never typed in Metasploit the information about the remote host to which I want to connect. I was just providing my local IP address of the Linux machine to which on which I was starting the listening process. So those solutions, they are great, by the way, to protect you from the DDoS or to protect you from and incorporate, for example, a web application firewall in front of your application. But it will not protect you from the good phishing campaign, good social engineering that will trigger someone for running the Excel or with malicious software.
You guys ask, I'm holding like because something strange. Because what about physical phishing, like bad USB stick? I got for example, a DigiSpark over here. So we are touching base the concept of that as well. Yeah. So
as a red teamer, we are not afraid of using hardware as well. So we've been delivering, for example, campaigns in which we've been. I don't want to disclose what we've been doing exactly, but we've been delivering physical devices in very sneaky ways to the employees of different companies all around the world, and really using social engineering to trigger them to plug it in and execute something even that was triggering some actions.
Do you have courses for AD and Windows security?
Come on! It's bread and butter for us.
And actually, there's a new course that we are setting up on the security of Active Directory, Azure AD, of course, Azure AD. And we were just thinking about the name yesterday. What should be the name? So it is actually coming as well. So here we go. Azure AD security, and we've got Active Directory security,
Advanced Active Directory.
The attacks on Active Directory. We've got hacking security Windows infrastructure, 30 days online course that you guys need to check in order to jumpstart for Windows security.
Advanced Windows security course.
That's the one that we run once a year. only. So you have to sign up for the autumn. That's going to be, so just follow our news, because we have just finished the AWC for the 2021, as we call it. The next one's going to be for 2022. And here we go.
Hamad is asking, what's the best way to prevent BBPP and P40? First of all, prevent starting the malware or unknown code on your workstations or your users' workstations. The second thing is try to restrict access to your internal resources based on really to what the user need to have access. Don't allow full access to the network through the VPN, because if you see the user that is working in one department and is using like resources of 2 servers, use a really nice network separation to allow only access to those resources also through the VPN. Okay, when he's on premise, he or she is on premise as well, do the network separation and then use even microsegmentation. I love this aspect. It's like killer option for all the penetration testing and blocking different lateral movement techniques as well.
Okay, guys, here we go. We totally love you, and we love your engagement and so on. This is so awesome. But there is a Champions League. Yeah, so here we go. So as we promised, we have to finish on time, so we just made it 17 minutes longer, and that's a great success.
One more thing, I have one very good tip for everyone, how to make easier for the users to spot the phishing mails. You remember in the Outlook, you have those pictures next to the person?
Yeah.
When you're using Office 365, you can set it up for everyone that does not have this kind of picture and a kind of like logo of your company. So whenever you get a mail that is even from very spoofed, very similar domain,
that's another
it
way.
will not have the icon there.
I think what would be the best way to fish everybody right now is to send to everybody the link to join and watch the Champions League. That'll be the best situational fishing. Anyway, guys, I think we have to summarize, because I know that some of you are waiting for this. Yeah. So here we go. PSG, Barcelona. Which one you were watching? Liverpool or RB Leipzig? It's not a question to you, it's a question to you guys. But long story short, we would love to thank you so much for joining our webinar. Yeah. Hopefully you loved it, and hopefully it was informative. Hopefully as well, we're gonna as well see you on the course. Yes. And remember that at some point it was just a little bit of a snorkeling, and we really love you because you are there engaged in cybersecurity, and that's at the end what it's great.
Exchange the comments, exchange the questions, the answers.
We also have a nice community on our site, so we're happy to share. So if you check out our blog, we also share lots of free content there, and the tools you're going to find on the resources.secureacademy.com/tools, and then over there the username is student, and the password is secureacademy #123 ! So this is a standard stuff, and you're going to always find it everywhere. Anyway, thank you so much. We're going to be on the chat for a little bit more, but disconnecting right now, and you guys go grab your chips and beer or coffee or carrots,
water.
Carrots, water. Everybody's on a diet right now because we're all sitting at home. Yes, it's okay, but carrots, water, and watch the Champions League with this delicious, healthy snacks. So thank you so much.
Benefits from the Champions League and the UEFA.
That's another. Okay, here we go. But thank you, and lovely to see you live. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.